Okay, I'm Jasper Fox, and I'm joined by
Baron Von Esquire III.
and
Lady Chair Lemur Table.
and today we're reading a book that I wrote at the age of 8. I thought that we should have those white gloves before we open it. The treasured manuscript found in the ancient. So I remember that during state testing, they said, when you're done with your test, you can draw whatever you want on the back of the paper. So I would draw these pictures of this weird plant, like eating people and destroying the world or something. So then when it came time for let's write a book, I thought, I'll write a book about this. Little Shop of Horrors is a movie where there's this Little Shop of Horrors. This plant comes from space and it eats people or something.
Table of Continents.
First bite. Ooh, that's
I
dramatic.
thought that said first Bible.
That would be better.
Baby's first Bible. Well, I don't think the plant is Christian. The last battle. That sounds so dramatic, but I bet
The
it's...
last bite.
I wonder how dramatic. The last bite. First chapter, the first bite. Last chapter, the last bite. Out of this world, many millions of light years out in space, there is a planet. A planet with plants. And those plants eat animals. There are little things that look like hamsters. They eat the other plants. They are flowers. So the plants eat the animals, and the animals eat the flowers. The plants have buds that are a second stomach. Their seed is a red heart. On the planet is little water, but lots of dirt. The dirt is made out of dead animals, flowers, and dead plants.
Accurate.
Well, I guess it's starting with exposition. Here's the ecosystem. Well, I guess this is interesting. You know, many millions of light years out in space, there is a
a
planet.
long
You're
time
like,
ago
ooh.
in a galaxy.
Right, it's like
Far
that.
away,
So
yeah.
it's setting up that something is happening.
We're establishing.
One plant got bored. Too bored. In fact, it got so bored of eating little animals, it tried to get out of its planet, but it could not. Still, it tried and tried and tried and tried. What does that mean? What is it doing? I'm just imagining it straining its, I wish I
stretching
could
out its
leave,
arms,
but
like,
I'm stuck in place, But still it couldn't. 2 years ago, it had made a friend, one of the
very
animals.
specific.
I will call them hamsters. The plant, with a capital P, for that was its name, called Friend, with 3 exclamation marks. Where are you? Here I am, the hamster called back. Friend, help me, said the plant. How? It asked. The plant said, dig me out. The friend replied, okay, and he did it. Then the plant said bye, and poof, the plant flew away.
Well, there you go.
How did that, what?
Easy as that.
Now I have questions. How big is the plant? How long did it take to dig out? Oh, that was the first chapter. Oh my
nice.
goodness, I remember this. Everyone in our class did. We would always say, oh, do you want to be a character in my book? And we would all be characters in each other's
Oh,
books.
yeah.
And then we would ask, what would you do? The plant traveled for years and years and years.
So it can't have been too many years because previously it said 2 years ago. So now are we in the future?
So many years it wanted to go home, but let's look at our planet. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Why didn't it, did it go home? Is it like it's in space now and it can't change its trajectory anymore? That's what I'm imagining. And it's like,
So
oh
many
man.
years it had this problem. But forget about that. Let's go over here.
Well, it is 2010 and the first alien has landed on the moon, said Kayla's dad. Mr. Matthias is his name.
Well, it's 2010 and aliens have landed. Pass the coffee.
I like that it starts with well.
Well,
Ah! Screamed Kayla and her 3 sisters. I remember I'd asked Kayla, what would you do if aliens landed on the moon? And you saw it on the news. And then she said, I would probably scream. And I said, what would you do if this other thing happened? And she would say, I'd probably scream.
oh my gosh.
So in my defense, what is this screaming about? Said Kayla's mom, Mrs. Matthias. I. That is all Kayla had time to say because Mr. Matthias said the alien landed in the rainforest. Ah, screamed Mrs. Matthias. Oh, now she's screaming too.
What?
That is what, said Kayla. Now let's go back to the, okay,
Yeah,
that's nice.
forget about that.
What is even the purpose of this scene?
I don't know.
I guess the purpose,
Foreshadowing.
if you took out this, then it would just be this plant did all this weird destructive stuff, the end. This is attempting, I guess, to add some emotional impact to what's happening. Now let's go back to the plant. The plant landed in the rainforest, in a ruin.
Well, there you go. Aliens have landed in a rainforest. The plant landed in a rainforest.
Coincidence?
I think not.
The plant waited for 2 years.
Why do you like 2 years?
That's how old I
Somewhat.
was. But on the second, it died.
Well,
Up, okay, the end. All right. And
Twist
good video.
ending.
Good video. Oh, but it let a seed drop. 2 weeks later, an explorer went into the rainforest, the one that the plant is in.
I think we understand that part. Thank
The
you.
explorer that the plant is in?
Dora the Explorer was searching for a new type of plant, or alien, but he didn't find one. Then he came to a ruin. He got excited and was writing all about it in his notebook. Then he went in, still writing about it. Then he went down a hallway with a hole at the end. He was going out when pumpa, pumpa, pumpa. Oh wait, more dramatic. Pumpa, pumpa, pumpa. Then a crack, a fast-growing plant, and snap, the seed grew in 2 seconds
2?
and ate the explorer.
I like that. Nice pun.
Wait, what's the pun?
Explorer.
Oh.
Former. Oh.
First bite. Here we go.
Action-packed.
Here we go. First bite.
Chomp
Thought the other plant with a capital O. Then the other is that because it grew from the seed? Why did it die? Does that even okay? Whatever. Then the other plant grew away. It went out of the ruin and out of the rainforest and past the hills into an Indian camp. Oh no, I remember this. This part is kind of racist. The Indians tried to kill it, but they couldn't. The plant ate a teepee in 2 bites. There's 2 again. And
What
ate
are
the
you
Indians in
tracking to?
1.
Oh my gosh.
One of the Indian tribes has been eaten, said Mr. Matthias. Ah, screamed Kayla, her sisters, and Mrs. Matthias. I hope that alien won't eat us, said Kayla.
Who's
and her sisters.
documenting this?
Me too,
Who's
said
like
Mrs. Matthias.
just like
Me
in
too.
a camera helicopter, like ooh, just watching and then
All those
live
people
stream.
just died. All right.
Maybe it's not racist, but it's at least culturally insensitive because, I didn't
And
do any
TV.
research on Indian people, and not everyone lived in this style of housing. And also, I assume it's in 2010, and not every...
But an Indian camp, a reservation. Okay. I thought like reservation. And there could be a teepee there. Why don't they have some touristy thing for people to come and,
I guess
this
so.
is how we used to live, and here, I mean, they have regalia. They wear traditional garb, and they have cultural presentations to explain to other people. I don't find this culturally insensitive.
Well,
and
I
you
guess
were
I'm-
8 years old when you wrote this, okay?
Oh, that was the whole chapter, first bite. So he ate some Native Americans who were just trying to celebrate their culture on their reservation, and then they got eaten.
Way to
Also,
go, plant.
is this the main character? This is a story about a villain.
It is a story. about
And
it.
it's just as like, I'm bored. I'll go to a different planet and destroy their world
Yeah.
instead. It's like a super
Well,
villain
maybe
thing.
he doesn't know he's a villain. He's just
Is he
trying
hungry?
to survive.
I mean, at the beginning he had a personality. I wonder if there's a part where he talks again, because he was talking, so apparently he has intelligence. The city. The plant traveled into the mountains and out of the mountains.
Okay.
Whoa.
Then he came to the city of Victorville. Oh, that's where I used to live. Then all the people that saw it screamed, ah, in capital letters. And they made sure they pressed the caps lock. The alien is now
123.
miles away from Victorville. I remember I didn't know how long units were. So I would say, 50 pounds, and I would be imagining a giant, screamed Kayla and her sisters at the top of their lungs. Man, they're getting real intense now. Look at this dialogue, right? I bet you've never seen dialogue like this. You ever read Lord of the Rings?
Da, 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 da,
This tops it.
da, da, da.
Did I hear your dad correctly? Asked Mrs. Matthias. Yeah, yes, said Kayla.
Yes.
Then the power went out, and Kayla's sisters were scared. It's okay, said
How did
Mrs.
they go
Matthias.
out?
We don't know.
Oh, I
yet.
assume the plant ate something. Let's go back to the other plant. It was drinking up 2 lakes
What is this?
and eating houses that were scattered in the desert. Then the army with a capital A came. They started to fire, but the spikes deflected the bullets. Then the other plant ate some of the tank. Just
How
have
do
to
you
imagine it.
eat some of the tank?
How does a plant travel through space?
I didn't even
Fiction.
I didn't even describe the way that it moves. It doesn't move its base. The base is still there, and then it grows, which technically means that they could just not attack the head. If they went back to the body, they could saw it away. Maybe I could even draw a modern representation. Then it started to eat people and bullets and bullets and helicopters.
And
Does it just snatch them out of the sky? The last battle.
There's
the
like
plant came
4
to the last
chapters.
house that was not in a city.
That was not in the city. Okay.
Then the other plant ate this house in 2 bites. I'm starting to think I did this on purpose.
It's
Parallelism.
there you go. Parallelism.
Then a bomb came flying at the plant. Kaboom!
Kaboom!
The army thought that
What
was
type of bomb?
just a bomb, Everett.
What does that mean?
A bomb.
It means it
What
has
pound? 500?
kaboom pound.
What? Oh my.
What? On 2 pounds, Everett. It's a 2-pound bomb.
2 pound bomb.
The 2 pound. That's like less. That's like a.
That's a
pretty much-
baseball.
That's just a fat grenade.
The army thought that was the end, but they were wrong. Tiny, tiny vines connected to other tiny vines to form the part of the plant that had exploded. The army kept shooting the vines, and the plant kept fighting back.
They're
Oh.
forming back together.
That would be visually dramatic. I guess it would be also dramatic if I had described it well. Oh, they thought it's the end, they won, and then they see a little bit of movement. What's happening? A nuclear bomb was the only answer, really.
No.
The only answer.
The only
Okay.
answer. The bomb came down and exploded on the plant. The plant, the mountain, the forest, and the army. What? They didn't even evacuate? They're just, let's just shoot the bomb there. Gone. And the plant died. The end! Or is it?
Ooh.
Did the plant do the Indiana Jones and hide in a freezer?
I think what I was imagining is that they just destroyed the head and the heart. Remember it said it has a red seed heart? That's still alive. So it'll come back.
Oh,
Ooh. Julian Roloff likes school, Mario Brothers, and his baby brother.
Oh.
Hey,
That
now,
used to be me.
grade
Paintball
3rd.
helper.
Teacher, Miss,
Grenade.
how would you rate this book?
It deserves a clap.